He did 3 first-grade grand finals and also did 2 international games, 1 New Zealand and 1 Great Britain side. Firstly, good afternoon, Ray.
Good afternoon, Phil. It's certainly great to be with the 2DU team today. We're really looking forward to an exciting game of football.
Ray, give us a bit of a rundown of what a referee from a country group expects of an international game as such.
Well, Phil, an international match is probably the highest appointment that a country referee can achieve. Really, they should be entitled to go through and do test matches, but to my knowledge, no country referees ever refereed a test match, so this is the highest level to which they can go.
How will referee Hannigan be feeling about this?
Oh, I'd say he'd probably be feeling a little bit on the nervous side, but certainly he'll be feeling excited and really looking forward to getting out there, giving a good blast at the whistle and getting right into the game.
You were saying to me that you feel Great Britain will try and take advantage of the referee if possible?
Well, I think any touring side, Phil, they're a group of men who are working together, they're training together in a very close community. And when they go out to start their match, they're playing for their country, they've got their nation's jumper on their back, and they really go out to do as well as they possibly could. Now, they are then possibly a little bit more competitive than, say, the divisional sides. I was certainly in the 2 games that I did. They really not only just testing the referee out, but they test the opposition out. They like to get us inside the 5 if they can. They like to do a few things in the scrum. They're not without being, dirty or playing the game in the wrong spirit, but they certainly go out there to play the game as hard as they can. And the referee, of course, it's his role then to make sure that the game flows the way it should.
Kevin James, good afternoon and welcome again to the microphone this week. What do you think of the crowd and the atmosphere?
Well, it certainly is a crowd that's building up to the expectations of 5,000 or 6,000 people. I think what we've seen here today in the earlier games, particularly the Group 11, Group 10 and Under 18 fixture, which is just completed, if the football we're going to see in the main games can reproduce some of the form we saw in that game, I think we're in for an excellent afternoon. The crowd, I'd say at this stage, would be probably in the vicinity of 3,500 to 4,000 people. Any of those that are in Dubbo wishing to come down, there's still a few spots left on the grass on either side of the ground, and I'm sure that if you don't come down, you're going to be missing a fine spectacle, because it's not every day that you get an international side in Dubbo, and they're only a young side, and I think this afternoon their coach Frank Miles told us earlier in the day that they're a team. There are no individuals in this outfit. All they're trying to do is to each and every one of them win a place in the test side, and today they're here in Dubbo to prove themselves for their coach. As Ray said, they're wearing their jumper of their country, and I'm sure that they're as nervous as the Western Division boys are. As far as Western Division are concerned, I think they've got a side that's capable of upsetting the Englishman. Ted Goodwin, we spoke to him earlier in the day. He's got a plan of no mistake football. He tends to play the game in the Englishman's half or within 30 metres of their try line whenever possible. They will be kicking the ball, Western Division that is, will be kicking the ball at every occasion to keep the Englishmen away from their try line and in turn put pressure on them.
All right, thanks Kevin. The game's about to start. We've got 2 Man of the Match awards for Western Division today, one from Home Crafts, an electric filler shave worth $100, and the referees have also given a $100 order courtesy of Braemar. We'll be talking about that later, and I might say at this stage, welcome to 2PK and also 2BS to our broadcast, and a special welcome to Ashton Stanford, the manager of Home Crafts in Bathurst, who I'm sure sponsors football down there as well. The teams, Great Britain is fullback Mick Burke. The wingers are Des Drummond and Des Foy. Centres are Joe Lydon and Keith Mumby. 5'8" is Tony Myler. Halfback Ray Ashton. Lock is Harry Pinner. Second rowers are Andy Goodway and Chris Burton. And the front row is Lee Crook, Brian Noble and Keith Rain. Western Division is programmed as Great Britain kick off and put it deep down to the Western Division line. Brad Jade comes across, picks it up, runs it straight up at them, comes to his 25, runs straight into the defensive Lee Crook, the big front rower, and is taken down. Gets up and plays it back to Jackson. Jackson gives it on to the big prop in right, but he's taken immediately in a exit McPhail, the prop, taking an excellent tackle. Goes to Lee Douglas, the halfback. He looks to support, but there's nobody there. Runs at them, but he's taken immediately in a good tackle. Gets up and plays it 30 metres from his own line. Back to Mark Smith for the big kick, as Ted Goodwin told us they would. He's put it straight down towards the fullback in the form of Mick Burke. He takes it 10 metres on his own side, runs across field, straightens up, but he's taken 5 minutes from halfway by very aggressive defence there from Western Division, 4 players. Gets up and plays it back. goes to the second rower in the shape of Burton. He runs straight at them, but there's nowhere to go with that defence, and has taken 2 metres from halfway. Great Britain in possession. Gets up and plays it back to Noble. Noble gives it to the prop, and he's knocked it behind him. Goes back to their centre in Keith Mumby. He also knocks it back, and they eventually pick it up, and they've lost 6 metres in that play the ball as it comes up. Noble goes for a run from dummy half to try and clean things up and give the attack time to regroup, and he's taken on halfway, and referee Hannigan said, I've told you to get off in Western Division. They're a bit too eager and they won't get off him, so he's given a penalty to Great Britain, the first penalty of the match, right on halfway centre field with 2 minutes of the game gone.
As we can see, Western Division are sticking to Ted Goodwin's plan in the first half, that is to attempt to keep Great Britain down in their own 30-metre territory. The kick from Mark Smith wasn't a good one, and unfortunately now they're paying as a result of that.
Well, now Great Britain, Joe Lydon, the young 19-year-old sensation, took the kick. He's put it into touch 15 metres into Western Division's side of halfway as they play it back to the halfback in Ashton. Ashton gives it to Crook, comes on to a beautiful pass to the other prop forward in Rain. He gets a good pass into the centres in the shape of Lydon. Lydon gets back to Ashton, looking at field. They're running well, stepping. He's up to 15 metres from the Western Division line before he's brought down by Jay. Gets up, plays it back to Noble, looks down the open side, gives a pass to Pinner, the lock. It's been intercepted though. It's been intercepted by the prop forward in McPhail, but he knocked it on in doing so, and play has stopped 25 metres out from the, or 30 metres out from the Western Division line, and we now see the first scrum of the match. They certainly threw the ball around then with one prop forward running off the other with those short passes.
Great Britain look good at the moment. They're throwing the ball around and they're showing us what ball skills they do have.
Scrum goes to Ashton. He makes a move with Pinner at the base of the scrum, but it was read beautifully by Lee Douglas, and he drove him 10 metres back.
What a good tackle that was.
Excellent tackle, 40 metres out. Ashton goes for a run, overhead pass, cuts out a man, gives it to the winger in the shape of, I've lost that winger, Des Foy. I wasn't expecting him, he was supposed to be a centre, but he's only been taken down 5 metres out. Gets it on to Pinner. Pinner on to Keith Ray. A bit difficult when they've changed their team at the last moment, but he was red and brought down 20 metres out. Gets back to Noble, on to Pinner. Pinner gives it to the centres in Mumby. Mumby draws a man, gives it to the fullback joined in Burke, but he's been taken down 15 metres out in the third tackle. Gets up, plays it back. Pinner, who's standing one off all the time, puts a little kick up. It's a beautiful kick too. Marty Gordon's under a lot of pressure there as Great Britain follow the ball through, but Gordon got to it first as he dived up in the air.
Awarded a try.
He's awarded a try. Well, I thought Gordon had that ball, but he's given the try to, I think, Lee Crooks, the prop forward.
Yes, he certainly, as Marty Gordon went up for the ball, it came loose, and the ball rolled further into the Western Division in-goal area, and Crooks just following through, put his hand on it, and the referee's awarded the try.
I think you'll notice already from the play that Harry Pinner, the lock forward for Great Britain, play is revolving around him, one off the ruck. He's the chap that does the little chip kicks, which Great Britain are renowned for, and in the traditions of a lot of lock forwards for Great Britain.
Yes, and certainly I think we've seen a lot of the ball skills that we know English footballers have, and they've been throwing the ball around nicely in this first half so far and putting a lot of pressure on the Western Division defence. I think they've held up pretty well so far, and to a certain extent that was a bit of luck of the draw try.
Well, Mick Burke, the fullback, has converted the kick from an easy position. So at Victoria Park, number 1 oval, we saw a scoreline reading Great Britain 6, Western Division 0.
If you're confused about what size microwave you should buy, confused about whether to buy a model that cooks by time or temperature, confused about whether some model's brown or not, then here's the answer for you. Ask about microwaves at Homecrafts. They guarantee they can answer all your questions on microwave cooking. See the range of Sharp microwaves today and ask how the ESP model works. If you're looking for a microwave, look no further than Homecrafts. Homecrafts, where price and friendly, efficient service is guaranteed. In Macquarie Street, Dubbo.
27-3, 2-2 Smart.
31. Back at Victoria Park, number 1, we have a scoreline reading Great Britain 6, Western Division 0. 5 minutes after the start, as Western Division have stolen the ball 30 metres out from the Great Britain line in the tackle, and once again the Great Britain players on this occasion wouldn't get off the player, so referee Hannigan has moved in and awarded a penalty, as I said, 30 metres out and about 15 metres in from the sideline. Second rower Brad Jayard is going to take a kick at goal at this occasion to get some points on the board for Western Division, but they've come back strongly there in the first tackle after the try to once again put pressure on Great Britain, which is excellent to see. Actually, going back on that try, just re-harping on that, Marty Gordon, I must admit, had absolutely no protection from his own players. He was left on his own and really couldn't be blamed for dropping that ball.
Certainly felt the impact he had. He had more Great Britain players around him than anybody else.
And Brad Jayard does an excellent kick, and it's gone right between the posts once again and around the corner kicker. So the Western Division now have their first points on the board to make the score Great Britain 6, Western Division 2. Referee Hannigan has called play back to halfway with the centre, Joe Lydon, bringing the ball back for the kick-off. He's handing it on to the half-back in Ashton, who is placing the ball. This will certainly give Western Division a bit of encouragement for this game, I would say. It's something they would need to do is get on the board so that they can get those butterflies out of their stomach.
Certainly, Phil. I think being a soft try first up, it certainly would have upset the Western Division players, but they've come back strongly. They forced an error on Great Britain and received the ball, and from an ensuing penalty soon after, they've put their points on, and I think they'll go on from here.
Ashton's done a short, high kick-off, a very good kick. Western Division knocked it down, and Great Britain have got it back at 15 metres into Western Division's half. So that was very good play, and once more showing their skills that they can do. Second row, Burton's been tackled, placed back to Noble, on to Ashton. Wide comes Pinner again. The man cuts out a man with a glorious pass, but it was a low pass, and Mark Smith was right on top of his opposite number in Mumby. Got him straight away. Half-back Ashton has gone from dummy half. Drawn a player, given it to Noble, the hooker, and he's made it to 30 metres out, 35 metres out from the Western Division line on the second tackle. They're certainly throwing this ball around. Pinner at dummy half. Gets it onto the second rower in Goodway, but he's been taken 30 metres out from the Western Division line. Gets up, plays it to Pinner again. Does a round around with Noble. Crooks, the big prop forward, holding the ball up. Nearly got a pass away as he went down, but just couldn't on the last tackle. It's on the quarter line of Western Division with Great Britain attacking, leading 6-2. Pinner again, the man that does the kicks, and he's put a beautiful bomb. They've certainly learned how to do the Australian bomb right underneath the post, but Marty Gordon on this occasion took the ball well. Once again, he didn't have a lot of support around him, but he took it well. Referee Harrigan says there's a penalty there. The Great Britain players were in front of Pinner, the lock forward and kicker. So on this occasion, Marty Gordon, even though he took it well, it was to no avail as the penalty has gone to Western Division, 10 metres out from their own line and under the post. As centre Mark Smith from Narromine kicks for the line, doesn't find any ground at all actually, and they're still 10 metres from their own line in possession, 10 metres in as winger Williams comes in, takes it, goes straight at them. Oh, and he's lost the ball in a beautiful tackle, though. He's got to the ball with the winger and Drummond. Drummond steps inside a player, goes for the sideline, and he's taken about 6 metres out. In excellent play, but Williams will not be happy with that, with his first touch of the ball, losing it in some solid defence. Plays it on to Crooks. Crooks gives it to the other prop forward in Rain, and he shows the ball but runs himself, but the defence was waiting for him and takes him immediately. On to Ashton, the halfback. Pinner standing off in the lock. He's got the second rower in Goodway running off him, but he's dropped the ball, and it's been towed through by the 5'8" in Marla, but referee Harrigan said there's a knock on there on the quarter line of Western Division's territory, and so we, after 8 minutes of play, we find Great Britain leading 6 points to 2, and Western Division, of those 8 minutes of play, 7.5 of them have been in the Western Division within 40 metres of their line, whereas Ted Goodwin told us before the game he wanted to play down their end, so he's not going to plan as yet.
All the pressure's been on Western Division so far in the first 8 minutes. Their game plan, they certainly haven't stuck to that as yet.
The scrum's been won by Western Division, and Douglas goes himself, but he's taken immediately, and on the quarter line, played it back to Jackson, the prop forward, gives it on to Jay at the second row, looks for the winger in Haynes, but there's nowhere to go. There's too much defence there. This is a young Great Britain side, much younger than we've seen in a lot of other tours, and once again, Western Division lose the ball in the tackle with hit by two big fellas in the prop forwards in Crooks, and also the second rower in, the other prop forward in Rain. But now we have Great Britain with the ball on the Western Division quarter line. As actually, there could be a penalty here. The Western Division man will not get off him in right, prop forward, but he does. They play it back. Gives it to Pinner on the front, open side. Onto the prop forward in Rain. He's been tackled by Jayat in a lovely tackle, and as he was, he knocked the ball down 20 metres out from Western Division line. So once again, we're seeing Western Division having to struggle in their defence, and they've had the ball on 3 occasions, have not held it for more than 2 tackles as yet, which is something they're going to have to work on.
It seems to be a problem they're having with the ball. I don't know, every time they get tackled, Western Division is spilling it. There's a penalty to Great Britain.
I must admit, before the game, it's showing what a professional outfit this Great Britain side are. They were all, an hour before the game, throwing this ball around, and it does appear to be a brand new ball for the game to me.
Yes, I think that's the problem, Phil. It's a brand new ball, just certainly by the signs on the ball. It hasn't been used all that much before, and I think that's a little bit of a pity that they've introduced a new ball into an important game like this.
Well, Great Britain have the ball 20 metres out from the Western Division line on the second tackle, as second rower in Burton has been taken. Ashton cuts out 3 men with a pass to his 5'8" ball. It's been dropped, picked up by Western Division. It's given to Smith, but Smith knocks it on. And Great Britain now retain possession in centre. Mumby plays back to Ashton, runs from dummy half. He likes running from dummy half, this little halfback.
He's a good player, this fella.
He's taken 30 metres out, plays it back to Noble. He's going for a run, gives it on to Pinner again. He's there all day. Gives it to the winger in Drummond. Drummond comes to Williams from Forbes and tries to hold him up, but he couldn't. Williams knocks him over immediately. Noble onto the second rower in Goodway. Goodway goes straight at them, but Jayat in particular went very low, and that's the way to tackle if you're going to stop these big Great Britain fellas. Plays it on to Ashton. Back it goes to Payne. Payne onto the other second rower in Burton, but he's taken immediately on the last tackle, 35 metres out, and I'd say it'll go back to Pinner. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. Pinner, look, he cuts a man out to Drummond. He's on his own out wide here. He's only got Williams in front of him, but Williams stood up and met him, and he's taken him over the sideline, only about 10 metres out, but referee Harrigan said, I am ruling the sixth tackle, and handed over 10 metres out from Western Division line as they play the ball back. Goes to the second rower in Miller, but Great Britain have found within the 5 metres, as Ray Collins was saying earlier, they'll throw them out, and that's exactly what they did, but referee Harrigan was right on the spot and said, you're within the 5 metres, we're not playing it that way, and there's a penalty to Western Division, 10 metres out from their own line, as Brad Jayat kicks for the line, finds it on his own quarter. Hooker in the shape of Jackson comes up, takes the tap. Gives it on to Douglas. Douglas has McWhirter outside him. Jayat, the second row, running off the 5'8". Goes across field, and he's taken 30 metres out from the Western Division line. Plays it forward, and I'd say there'll be a penalty there, yes. Jayat was unmarked in the play of the ball, very quickly got up and played it forward. Myler, who'd done the previous tackle, the 5'8" for Great Britain, thought he'd better knock him over in the process, but he came from an offside position in doing so. So there's a very bad mistake very basic mistake by Jayat. He's kicked for the line and didn't find it, and it's gone back down to the Great Britain 25 as Des Boy, their left winger, runs it up to 40 metres out from their own line. Plays it back onto Pinner, the lock forward, and he runs hard. He's made it up to 8 metres within halfway on the second tackle. And referee Harrigan is pulling one of the Western Division players out. It's the winger in the shape of Haynes. He must have gone in with he's gone in with an elbow, he indicated. He has gone into the tackle on Pinner with the elbow. This Pinner certainly dominated what's happening around these rucks too.
Well, that was basic bad football from Western Division. Jayat didn't find the line. I mean, schoolboys do that. They find the line. He tried to get too much territory, and now they're going to pay the penalty.
Great Britain have found the line. They didn't make much ground, but they found the line, which was important. 2 metres on their own side of halfway. It's given to Ashton. They're doing a run around, and it goes to the big second rower in Goodway, and he's gone straight through the palming players off, and he's made a 20-metre gain straight down the centre of the field in an excellent run. They're fired up, this Great Britain. They certainly want to win, and they want to prove to the Australian public what good footballers they are, and today is not going to be an exception if they keep this up. Noble plays it back to Ashton. Ashton gets it onto his 5'8", Myler. Myler onto Pinner again, standing there. Gets a glorious pass in the centre to Mumby. Mumby's only got one player in front of him. Draws it, gives it to Des Foy, the winger, and he's running around to put the ball down only about 3, 4, 5 metres from the post in a beautiful backline try, which I would say would be more reminiscent of Australian-type football, really.
Yes, that was an excellent try from Great Britain. They all culminated back when Jayat didn't find the line for Western Division. They had an opportunity to attack. He tried to get too much ground with the ball, a very elementary mistake, and three rucks later, Great Britain are in to score a very, very good try.
Well, I would say, speaking to their coach Frank Myler beforehand, he wants hard games for his players. He doesn't want an easy game, but also I'm sure he certainly doesn't want any criticism like was levelled at the tourists after the Riverina game. And they've come out here with a vengeance today. They're playing excellent football. They really are putting it right up to Western Division in the way they're playing the game. And I must say myself, I find this very much, first-class Australian-type football that they are playing here this afternoon at the moment.
Yeah, well, they're throwing the ball around. They're making use of the mistakes that Western Division are making, and they're capitalising on them as any good football team does.
Mick Burke, the fullback, round to the corner kicker, once again had a fairly easy kick, and he's put it between the posts. So we now have a scoreline at number 1 oval, Dubbo that reads Great Britain 12, Western Division 2.
It's happened. Homecrafts have slashed the price of their entire range of bedding. Double beds, single beds, bunks, cots, divans and foam mattresses, all reduced to an all-time low. Listen to these specials. Sleepmaker double ensembles, $299. Sturdy tubular double bunk, including foam mattresses, $199. And a metre-wide foam mattress, only $19.95. Just a few of the fantastic bargains at Homecrafts. Homecrafts, your super discount store, Macquarie Street, Dubbo.
Footy Sport, and it's now 16 minutes to 3, and we stand by to cross back to number 1 oval.
At number 1 oval, we have a scoreline that reads Great Britain 12, Western Division 2, as Great Britain have kicked for the line from 40 metres out from their own line, and they have found the line, found Williams, the winger, standing too far up, and they have found the line 10 metres from Western Division's line. So once again, we see Western Division hard on defence, and once again, I feel they have themselves to blame there because the winger was too close up. Great Britain saw what was going on and put the ball deep in 10 metres out from Western Division line. Halfback Douglas feeds the scrum, and it's a win to Great Britain against the head as Ashton falls on the ball from the scrum base. Plays it back to Pinner, the lock forward, gives it out to Myler. Myler has Lydon. They're standing waiting for Lydon, but he runs himself, but McWhirter is waiting for him and knocks him over on the quarter line. Western Division side, second tackle. Gets it to Pinner. Pinner has a second rower in the shape of Burton running straight off him in a good run, but he's taken 15 metres out from the Western Division line. Plays it back. Gives it to Pinner again. He's in everything, this fella. Breaks the first line, gets it on to Little Ashton, the halfback. One man in front of him, steps inside him, and he scored right next to the post.
Western Division is starting to open up now, and they've got a few problems around the fringe of the rucks. Ashton and Pinner are finding gaps, and the big men are starting to pour through.
Well, sorry, Phil. Certainly we're seeing a very gifted footballer in number 13 for Great Britain, Harry Pinner, playing at lock forward. He is involved in practically every play that they have, and he's been instrumental in all the tries that they've scored.
I must admit, I haven't heard of this chap before myself. Has he played much test football for Great Britain, do we know? I've got their line-up here, and yes, he's only, he's 27, and he's played 8 times since 1980, but
tries been converted by Great Britain.
Going on this form, he's a player that we'll be seeing in the test this year, I'd say, if he keeps this up.
I think all the players, all the Great Britain players, Phil, are certainly on trial for their first test selection, because I don't think there are any of them really stand out, possibly Lydon and a few of those, Andy Gregory, but every one of these fellows will be certainly trying to get a test jumper.
Well, not only that, they've only got an average age of 23 in the whole touring party. So they're young fellas, and they've got to prove themselves in football yet, and that's what today is one of the days they're hoping to do that. As the kick goes down to their line, Des Foy, the winger, runs it up for Great Britain, and he's taken on the quarter line. Plays it back. Gets it to Crooks, but referee Harrigan says you're inside the 5 Western Division, and there's a penalty to Great Britain 30 metres out from their own line with 18 minutes of the game gone, and Great Britain leading 18 points to 2. Excuse me. I hope Western Division can tighten this up a bit because, I think this is one area which you should be able to give Great Britain a hard game in country football, and I just hope that they can come back into this and don't lose all their hope in this game. On halfway, ball's played back to Noble. Tap back to Noble, given to Ashton. He gives it to the front row and Crooks, but he's taken right on the halfway line as he gets up to play it back. Once again to Ashton. Ashton to the Pinner again. Pinner's got good way running off him. He's a big fella, but an excellent tackle from Mark Horton, the lock forward, as he's taking Pinner onto Crooks. Crooks gives a pass to the centres in Mumby, but he's dropped the ball, and Western Division have fallen on it as they come up with it right in the big prop forward, runs at them, but referee Harrigan once again says you're inside the 5 metres, so he's caught both teams in the 5 metres on a couple of occasions in this game, and a penalty goes to Western Division, 10 metres on Great Britain side of halfway in centre field. What's the penalty count?
Let's hope Western Division can use the ball now. They haven't held it for 6 tackles the whole of the game. The game's been going 19.5 minutes. There's another bad kick from Jade. I don't know what's the matter with them.
I'd say they're very nervous, actually. Let's give them credit that they haven't really settled down and very nervous as they take the tap 10 metres on Great Britain side of halfway. McWhirter, the 5'8", is taken immediately. Plays it back to Jackson. Jackson onto Jade, running crossfield. Tries to go on the outside, but there's nowhere to go there as he's taken beautifully by centre Mumby. And tackle blow too. Gets up, plays it back to Jackson. Douglas Douglas on to Jay. Jay to the second row. Miller, but he's met by glorious defence from Goodway. A magnificent tackle. Mark Smith said, I want to get involved in this. Ran straight at them. Taken by second row. But bounced off him. That's what we need to see from Western Division. And he's made a 15-metre gain, and they're getting stuck into him too. That's excellent. That's what we need from Western Division. Mark Smith said, I'm sick of this mucking around. I want to get in close and get into these fellas. And that's what he did. And if I remember, he did that against New Zealand a couple of years ago too.
Much better stuff from Western Division. Mark Smith showing his experience. He knows what it's all about, and he's putting the gravy in now.
Well, I think also, I don't think the Great Britain fellas like having somebody run at them as quite so hard as that either.
That's a better kick from Jay too.
And I think that's done the team a lot of good.
I think Mark Smith's really summed the situation up. Western Division were backpedaling all the time, and he thought, well, this is about time we really put it to them. And he took 4 of them on, and he came out on the front because they got the penalty. Western Division got the penalty out of it.
Got the tap. Douglas on McWhirter. He's got big front row McPhail, and he's dropped the ball on the first tackle. You can't do anything without the ball, and it's a first tackle. Great Britain come up with it 20 metres from their own line. So all that work for Mark Smith's been wasted in this occasion. Goes to Ashton, the halfback. He runs again from dummy half. He likes doing this, and he makes a good 5-metre gain before the lock forward. Horton gave him a little bit for his trouble in the tackle, and Western Division said we're going to get involved a bit more. Once again, Pinner puts the ball deep to the 25 of Western Division. Marty Gordon, the fullback, picks it up, runs it to halfway, steps around the first player, but prop forward Crooks took him in a glorious low tackle. Plays it back to the centre, gives it on to Williams. First through, he's made a 15-metre gain in an excellent run, and that's the sort of stuff we now need to see. Jay runs from dummy half. He's running straight at them. The Great Britain don't look so good when they're running straight at them as they are now, and they've made it down the quarter. Played it forward, runs straight at them again in the 4th tackle. And another excellent run. Pinner, the lock, was there to stop him. McWhirter gets it wide to Horton, puts a big kick right over the line. As Big Berg, the fullback, comes back, lets it bounce, takes it over his own line, runs it back into play, and he's taken 5 metres in their own side. Well, this is a bit different. I don't think Great Britain like it when the team runs it quite as hard.
This is good stuff from Western Division. They're now turned the Englishmen around, and they're putting the pressure on them for some very, very heavy defence.
Yes, 2 and 3 tackles there. Tacklers going into the tackle, and that's making a difference for Western Division.
Well, the second rower in Burton has run straight at them, and he's made a good 15-metre gain and taken the ball on the 3rd tackle to their own quarter line. As he gets up to play the ball, plays it back to Noble. Noble on to Little Ashton. Little kick over the top. There's no one home for Western Division. If he gets there first, they're in trouble. But Marty Gordon, the fullback, came up, took the ball, runs it back at them. Coming up towards the corner, beats the first man. But he's taken in a lovely tackle from Brian Noble, a hooker, low and hard. Colin Wright, the prop, runs it at them, but there's nowhere to go there, and he's taking the second tackle once again on the quarter line as Western Division put on a bit of pressure. Douglas on the second row. Miller coming across field, but he's got nowhere to go there. Sorry, that was McPhail, the prop forward. He's taken Douglas on to McWhirter. McWhirter's got Spur, the centre outside him. Williams, the winger, one-on-one with Drummond, stands up, goes at him, bumps him, knocks Drummond over, and that's what we like to see in the 4th tackle on the quarter line as they stand up. A different Western Division side now. They're settled down. Giant shows the ball, dummies, gets the pass on, 6 to go as Great Britain touch it, and Little Douglas is taken by Crooks and given a little for his trouble, a bit of needle to see if Douglas can hold onto it, but he ignored it and played football as Colin Wright is taken in a collar tackle by Goodway, who's having an excellent game the second row for Great Britain. Kicks the ball through on the dummy half, and once again elementary mistake by West.
He was facing the wrong way when he played the ball.
He couldn't see. He had his jumper pulled over the top of his head, and he couldn't work out where he was, and he turned and played the ball in the wrong direction, lucky not to be penalised.
And actually, Goodway, the second row, came up with it after doing that excellent tackle on him, and in what was a very good tackle, and he's playing very well. But Western Division have stood up in the defence here and knocked the 580 miler over, and he's dropped the ball in doing so. So we now see a scrum 30 metres out. Well, actually, with a bit of pressure put on them, Great Britain is starting to make a few mistakes in this game as well.
Well, they are too. Western Division are, have now suddenly found out that because they're a touring side, that they're not invincible, and they've put in some very hard tackles, Western Division, and the Englishmen are now starting to go backwards.
Western Division won the scrum. 24 minutes gone this game. Great Britain leading 18 points to 2 as Douglas is taken immediately by Crooks, the prop, breaking from the scrum. Plays it back. Gives it to McWhirter. Steps. Beats the first man. Goes through. Lost the ball. Picked up by second row Miller. Comes straight downfield. And he's taken on the second tackle 20 metres out. He gets up to play it. Plays it back to Jackson. Jackson onto Horton, the lock. McWhirter's got the big centre spur coming off him. And he runs hard. Taken about 18 metres out in the third tackle. No marker. Plays it forward. Runs straight at them. And he's made it to about 8 metres from the line on the fourth tackle. Now they're putting some pressure on Mark Smith. The centre goes straight at them. and playing it hard. This has all started from what Mark Smith, you can see he was cranky earlier. He was cranky, they were pussyfooting, let's not kid ourselves. They're playing nice little touch football, and Mark Smith was cranky, he ran at them, and I don't think they were expecting a man like that until they came to test football.
Well, I think Western Division suddenly decided that Great Britain aren't invincible. The first 15 or 16 minutes, I think they thought that they were because they'd come over here on an aeroplane, but Western Division have suddenly decided that they can beat Great Britain, and the way they're going at the moment, who knows what can happen. Mark Smith is a season's campaigner, and he's probably one of the most attacking players in Western Division.